Let's get started by taking a look at the 3ds Max interface. Now, if you're looking for certification, you probably are already familiar with the interface. But let's go through and make sure we understand the names of all the components of the interface. So we're going to start off at the top here. At the top left, we have our main menu. We have our file menu here, as well as edit, tools, group, and so on. And we can get to all the major 3ds Max functionality through these menus. Now we have a number of toolbars that also allow for very quick access. At the very top of the interface, we have what's called the Quick Access toolbar, and this has File, Open and Close, as well as Undo and Redo. We also have a workspace switcher here, so we can switch between a number of standard workspaces. Over here on the right, we have our help menu here where we can actually type in a keyword or phrase and search for help. Now a little bit further down, right along here, we have what's called our main toolbar. And these are the main tools that you'll be using in 3ds Max. We have undo and redo. We also have our hierarchy tools here, as well as our select tools here. We also have move, rotate, and scale. We have our snapping options, mirroring, as well as some rendering tools over here on the right. Now below that, on the left, we have what's called our Scene Explorer. And this is where we view, sort, and filter all the objects in the scene. Now moving over a little bit to the left here, we also have what are called the viewport layouts. And this will actually allow us to change the layouts of our viewport. So all we have to do is press this little arrow to change our viewport layouts. Now down in the bottom left-hand corner, we have our Max Script window where we can actually type in commands. And over here we have a status bar. Now the status bar just gives us a prompt as to what to do with each command in 3ds Max. Now here we have our viewports, and each viewport has its own set of menus that allows you to change any number of parameters. Now we're going to go through this in a little bit more detail, but we can change the type of viewport. We can change how it's shaded, as well as whether or not we show wireframes or not. There's a lot of different controls here. Now if we right-click in any active viewport, we get what's called a quad menu. Now the quad menu may not always show 4 options here. In this case I only have 2, but we can have up to 4 of these in the menu. So anytime you right click and hold, you get what's called the quad menu. Now down here we have our time slider, which allows us to step through our animation. Now over here on the right we have what's called the command panel. Now the command panel actually has a number of different tabs. We have a create tab, we have a modify tab, which allows you to modify objects. We have our hierarchy tab, which allows us to affect the way that objects are linked together, as well as pivots. We also have a motion or an animation panel here, and the motion panel allows us to control the animation within the scene. This panel here controls display, and then we also have a utilities panel. So all of these together is called the command panel. Now down here we have our playback options as well as animation controls. So we can turn on or off auto key. We can set keys here or here. And we can determine what is being keyed through our key filters. We can also change the tangents here. And finally, down in the bottom right corner, we have viewport navigation. So we have tools such as zoom, zoom all, as well as field of view, pan view, and so on. And we're going to go through these in just a little bit. So this is the default 3ds Max interface. Now if we want to change the interface, here we can actually change to different layouts if we want. Or we can go to our standard layout. And we can manage these as workspaces. So if we want, we can change the layout that we want, and we can save these as new workspaces. So if you have an arrangement of windows that you like, you can create your own custom workspaces. Now we can also customize the interface here using Customize User Interface. Now what this does, it allows us to change keyboard shortcuts if we want. We can change the way that the mouse works. We can change what is on our toolbars, what is on the quad menus, as well as what's in the menus, as well as colors. So we can completely customize the user interface. Now, if we do this, we can save this out into a file, and we can create our own custom interface files that can be loaded later. So if we want, we can load and save custom UIs. So, as you can see, the 3ds Max interface is very well organized. Every part of that interface has a name, so be sure to understand that. And we can also customize the interface by customizing our workspaces or by going through Customize UI.